John, we started caddying, and when I was 9, and Tony was 3 years older than I was, and to make a little money, I mean, we had to help her a little bit, you know, because half the time my dad in those days didn't have a job, and so we all had to do something. And I just it was a great time, really, because you learned a whole lot about growing up in life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And being an assistant pro, the first assistant pro job I had was at Glenwood Golf Course. A fellow named Jim Reynolds built that golf course up after the Second World War. And I went to work with him down there when I was 18 years old. And I stayed there with him, and then I did some other jobs in the business, and then I got drafted and went to service, went overseas, and came back, and I just messed around a little bit trying to figure out what I want to do. And I said, well, I'll get back in the, I'd like to get back in the golf business again. So that's what happened. And I went to work at the Country Club in Virginia. And I worked there for a couple of years. And then Jim Reynolds, a fellow that I had worked with at Glenwood, he built Monacan Hills, which is now Richmond Country Club. And he offered me the pro job. He had it in service. And so I was a pro there for 38 years at Richmond. And I wouldn't have traded for anything. I had maybe chances to go other places, but I was just happy to be there. Didn't have to move, take the kids with me and all that. The golf game has been great for me. I just feel like, and seeing all you fellows out there, that I know I was lucky to have the golf concession at Richmond Country Club all those years. I had the cart concession too for all those years, which is now unbelievable, you know. But that's the way I was able to make enough money when the time came to retire. And so the game has really been great for me. And I don't think I would have done it like doing anything other thing other than that. Okay? I hope all you turn out to be as happy as I am right now.
Awesome.
I think our backgrounds were pretty much the same. I don't know about Tommy. He looks like he's been rich all of his life. But I grew up in the row houses in Baltimore, just like Leo did down here in Richmond. And to ask, why did I want to be a golf professional? Because I liked the way those guys looked that I was caddying for. I liked the big cars. They were driving big cars, and good-looking women, fancy clothes, nice golf clubs. If you played on Caddy's Day on Monday, I used to caddy for a gentleman named Eugene Bruning, owned the Bruning Paint Company. Good player. And he would let me play with his golf clubs on Monday on Caddy's Day. You get out there in the morning, you had to be off the golf course when the whistle blew at 12:30. And Mr. Bruning would let me use his golf clubs. And he was a dude. He had a mustache, drove a big car, looked good, had a nice looking wife. I said, I like this. This suits me just fine.
I did just about the same thing. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, because the season's awful short up there, but we could play on Mondays.
He's been trying to get warm ever since.
You could play on Mondays and be off the golf course at noon. And we'd get 36 holes in, walking. And we'd tee off at 5 a.m. in the summertime. In fact, we slept under the roofs, under the trees, whatever. There's about a half a dozen of us. We used to go out there and sleep, to wake up and go run for 6 hours. Played 7 hours, played 36 holes. That's right. I stopped and get a drink of water every once in a while. Didn't have any money to eat. That's what we did as little caddy boys to start off with. But it was in my heart to do that. I did that, and I was really, really lucky. And Bubba Livingston built a golf course down in Chester, and he was getting ready to retire. And I met him not through the pros, but I met him through the superintendents. And I said, Bubba, when you get ready to retire, he said, how about giving me a shot at the golf course? I'll buy it from you. And it worked out. I can't believe it, but it worked out. And I had to work, Jack Isaac gave an expression. They said, how long you been in the golf business, Jack? He said, 80 years. But wait a second now, 80 years? He said, yeah, 40 years overtime. So we all know what we're talking about. Many, many long days. And it didn't bother me a bit because it was mine, you know, and I really worked quite hard, no matter what these guys say. But we all came up about the same way, and y'all can do it. If we can do it, boy, you can do it if you want to. Just dig your feet in, but keep your eyes and ears open for opportunities, you know, when they come along. And I would tell you a story. It's not too bad of a story, but my first golf tournament as a golf pro. It was at Boonesboro Country Club. Very hilly golf course, and the pro there, he could whip a lot of people through. He had one arm. His name was Alvis Hilton. Way back then, and they didn't have any golf carts. Everybody walked, you know, so they gave me a caddy. I got a caddy. I think my entry fee is about $12, you know, to get in as a pro. $12 entry fee. And boy, I'm nervous, you know. And I got this kid, and he's got this bag on backwards, you know. He looks like he's carrying luggage or something. I don't know. You know how you're supposed to keep the clubs out here, you know, when you caddy. So they sort of tipped me off, but I didn't pay too much attention. I was too nervous. And got on the first hole, and I hit my tee shot down there. And I looked around, and I said, how far am I from the green? And he goes like this. He said, you're about halfway. So I got on the second hole, and I was a little nervous, you know. I said, boy, this sort of good. I said, he said, no, I never caddied before. He said, but that man up in that golf shack up there, he told me to do anything you tell me to do. I said, okay. So we got to the second hole, the dog leg to the right, and I duck hooked my ball over in the heavy rough to the left. See, I'm over there, and now I'm a long ways from the green. I took a wood out, and I never should have hit a wood out of that heavy rough, but we've all done it, you know. Just might get lucky and catch it. There's a ditch in front of me about 75 yards in front of me. Ooh, the ditch about as wide as this table. And I took a mighty swing at that thing, and I topped that ball. Pretty powerful, you know. Away it went, you know. And I said, run, you son of a bitch, run. The next thing I heard is the golf bag hit the ground, and that kid took off. I said, oh my God. Oh. So that's what happened to me on my first golf tournament.